that her name? I can't remember. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Charlotte and today on Sunrise on the Reaping, it's one of my most anticipated reads. I love the Hunger Games universe. When President Snow book came out, what was it called? A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? I don't know. I remember I found the title very hard to remember, but that wasn't the point. When the book came out, I was ecstatic. I was ready to just jump on in, do what I needed to do so I could read that freaking book, okay? I adored it. I also really liked the movie, but that's beside the point. This is Haymitch's story. And now you can read President Snow's story, then you can read Haymitch's story, and then you can read the original trilogy. So you get it like in chronological order, or you can read the trilogy first, that came out first, then you read President Snow's story, then you read Haymitch's story. Because if you read it the original way, you don't really know that much about President Snow, which can give a lot to the movie. But also reading it, you kind of know why President Snow is like President Snow is. Not that that's an excuse. No, sir. No, sir. But okay. I am going to talk throughout this video like you already know what the Hunger Games is. Like you read the original trilogy, okay? It's going to be spoiler free, but I am going to talk in a sense that you already know what happens in the original trilogy. So if that's a spoiler for you because you have been reading President Snow's story and now you're going to read Haymitch's story and then you're going to go read Katniss' story, you're warned. You can stay, but you're warned. You might get confused. Just a tiny little bit. That's fine. We all get confused sometimes. I get confused all the time, to be honest with you. But hey ho, let's go. I'm going to take off the dust jacket because I only put it on to show you guys. I don't like reading with it on. And also look how pretty the book is. It's pretty. Yeah. Haymitch. One of the things that I really liked about Hunger Games was that even though you kind of got to know Haymitch, you didn't really get to know his story. You know that he has suffered great loss, but what that entails, they kind of never tell you. Now she's telling us. I think also the movie is going to come out like next year. I think it's already in production because he announced the movie and the book at the same time. But what do I know? I am just a mere peasant from Norway. But the book starts off on Reaping Day in District 12. How he ends up in the Hunger Games, I am not going to spoil for you, but it is a quarter quill. It's the second quarter quill, and you learn, like in the first chapter, that what's special about this quarter quill is that instead of being 24 kids, because they are kids, that are going to get sent in to a death arena, it's now going to be 48. So 2 boys and 2 girls from every single district. So you have double the odds of getting selected, and you kind of have double the odds of not surviving. Now that we already know that Haymitch is the winner, because that's how we ended up mentoring Katniss and Peeta, I am excited to see how he actually survives. You do get some hints at it in the original trilogy on how he did survive, because I think Peeta kind of researched it. Maybe Effie told them, I can't really remember. But I am excited to see how well that correlates into here. Or if, you figure out that they just spill it off as not the truth. Maybe it's the truth that he wants the world to know, but it's not really how he won. Don't really know. Also, I was excited to see how they were going to correlate the District 12 story from President Snow into this one, and you do get answers to that very early on, and that made me very excited. There is a nod to Lucy Gray. Is her name Lucy Gray? The pretty girl. You do get a nod to her already. I've read 4 chapters and there's already been a nod to her, and I really appreciated that because I had questions. So yeah, this is how much I've read. This is how much I have left. Hello? But I'm very excited, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read for a while before I have to go and, be an adult. I'm going to try as much as I can to stay away from President Snow's story, just in case this is the one that triggered you back to the story, but you haven't seen the movie and or you haven't read the book from President Snow. I'm going to try and stay away from that one. So maybe you would want to read it after this one, because it is a good one, that one as well. I'm going to cuddle my dog and I'm going to read. Apparently, I forgot to record sound here, but that's actually fine by me, because I end up telling you guys something that is a spoiler. I didn't know at the time that it would be a massive spoiler, because I just realized it, but it is. So I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I am talking about a character that shows up from one of the other books, and basically telling you a part of their story that I do not feel like telling you at this point in time. So just watch me wave my arms around, being super enthusiastic about something that I cannot tell you. Okay, so I am well into part 3 right now. I am on chapter 25. This is how much I have left. The audiobook says it's approximately an hour left, I think it said. Something like that, a little bit over an hour. And I understand you're supposed to be a little bit confused because he's a little bit confused, even though I'm not really confused because I know how the story ends because of the trilogy, but I don't know, it feels like in a weird way you will get to see how his humanity in a way got stripped away by the games, because you get to see it with Katniss, right? You kind of get to see how she has war scars, if you want to call it that, but I feel you kind of get to see how his scars are different but the same. I have a feeling this is going to be a very short reading vlog because I don't feel like I can say much without actually spoiling what happens. And the audiobook is also very good because I have been doing both. I've been reading a little bit, I've been listening to the audiobook, and I've been doing both at once, which I think is actually how I want to finish the book now. I have a few chapters left. I think I'm going to listen to the audiobook and I am going to finish it, because at the point I'm at right now, I have a feeling we're going to see the aftermath from the arena pretty quickly. So it's a nice sunny day, and what better way to spend it than in bed, finishing a good book, and maybe with a good cry. But I shouldn't cry because I'm going out later and I don't want to redo my makeup. Okay, I'm going to finish and we're going to do final thoughts. I finished this one yesterday. As you guys saw, I cried my eyes out. Like, it hit me way harder than I was prepared for it to hit me. Then I turned around, put a smile on my face, and Tom and I went to a stand-up comedy show. Yeah, that's exactly what I was in the mood for after reading this book. But I did have a fun time. I did. But yeah, no, I cried my eyes out, even though you kind of know, you don't know what's going to happen, but you know it's going to happen. It hit me way harder than I was prepared for. I wasn't prepared for the emotion it was going to put me through. But the way it's built up, the way this book is just, I don't know, like you feel his emotions, you feel how it is. I still wasn't prepared. I still wasn't prepared. I love that you get a nod to a lot of the characters that you meet in different books. You do get some answers about what happens in President Snow's book. You do get some kind of answers about things that happen later on. And one of the things that I really did like is that they kind of showed Effie as more human, because in the original trilogy, Effie disappears. Effie's not part of it. Effie is a character that people really liked and people really enjoyed, so they wrote her into the movies. And I love that you get more of her in this one. So you kind of get a younger Effie and you kind of understand how she got wrapped up in the Hunger Games to start out with. This is like a 4.5 for me. I love this book. I would recommend anyone who is a Hunger Games fan to read it before the movie comes out. But I don't think I will ever pick it up and read it again, because the ending, like the last bit of this book, it hit me so hard. And the empathy I feel with Haymitch and how he kind of turned out the way that he was supposed to. Well, not supposed to, but how he ended up how he did. I can't do it. I can't read it again. Haymitch is the saddest story by far. Like, if I thought Prue hit me hard, Prim, not Prue, Prim. I thought Prim hit me hard. No. Somebody else hits me way harder in this one. Way harder. Way harder. And that's also why I cried. Like, it was my own story, which luckily it is not. At the end, also, you kind of get a little nod to the original trilogy. So it feels like this is the last book we're gonna get, at least from the original cast's perspective. And I am very happy that you got Snow's story before you got Haymitch's story, because you understand why Snow says a lot of the things he says. You understand why Snow does a lot of the things he does, because you know how he has that information. He just doesn't, like, in the original one, he kind of seemed like he was spying on them, which, I mean, I think he was. But now you know that a lot of it is also lived experiences. So 4.5. I recommend it highly if you are a Hunger Games fan. If you've watched the movies but you haven't read the books, I do recommend reading them. Reading them is a completely different thing from watching the movies, and the movies are some of my favorite movies of all time. I think the movies are done correctly based on the books, but it's still just so much raw emotion in this. I need something fluffy now. I need a romance, I think. But that was it for me today in this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for spending some of your precious time with me. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.